Welcome back everyone. Here I am, still locked in quarantine, but things are looking up. Of course, I got the didgeridoo a couple of days ago, keeping me busy, and a new package just arrived. I just got some juggling balls. This is another great suggestion from my brother of things to keep me entertained while I'm here in quarantine. And so I have some things that I want to learn, some sort of improvements to how I juggle and like step it up to the next level. But before I get to that, I thought I'll teach you guys how to juggle. For those of you that have always wanted to learn, it is actually not that complicated. And I know I didn't say it in the didgeridoo video, but I'm a really firm believer when you're trying to learn anything, it really is just a matter of time and perseverance. And the only difference between someone who learns how to do something like juggling or someone who doesn't learn how to do it is basically if you give up or not. So when it comes to juggling, all you have to do is not give up and you will learn how to do it. I would say if you do this for 10 minutes a day for a week, you'll be able to juggle 3 balls like I just did then. So how do you juggle? 3 balls is a great place to start, but we'll break it down into its simple little pieces and just build it up as we go. And my brother taught me how to juggle, and he always used to say, juggling is just throwing consistently. So you just have to train yourself to throw consistently and you'll be able to juggle. So what do I mean by that? Start out with just 1 ball, and you don't have to have actual juggling balls. Anything will work really. I like them to be about this size though. Something as big as an apple is probably too big. It's kind of hard to hold in your hand, but also anything really tiny or that floats like a ping pong ball, that's going to be hard as well. So something just, tennis balls can work. They're a little bit big, maybe like those mini tennis balls, something about that size. Anyway, start with just 1 ball, and all you're going to do is throw it from one hand across to your other hand. And I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to do it right hand to left hand. But in terms of juggling, you're going to have to learn how to do it both ways. So spend 10 minutes and do nothing other than throw it back and forward. And probably you're going to find you do errant throws and you have to like reach for it, stretch out to catch it. But the goal of what we're trying to do is be consistent. So you want to keep your 2 hands about where they are and throw it consistently from one to the other. So it always goes to about the same height and you don't have to reach for it. You don't have to do any wild movements to sort of, go out of your way to catch it. So practice this for 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes a couple of times today, 10 minutes a couple of times tomorrow, and you'll find you'll get a lot more consistent, especially with your left hand. So that really is step 1 of learning how to juggle. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to have 2 balls, and all you do is you throw one across, and then before you catch it, try and throw the other one. So I throw this one, then that one, and then I stop. And I've only got 2 balls. Throw, throw. And again, I'm doing this starting with my left hand. Now I want to practice starting with my right hand. Same idea, start with the right hand, and you just have to throw it soon before the other one arrives. And this is a timing game, and this is again about throwing consistently. And the more you practice, the more consistent you're going to get. And at first, you'll be wild, you'll probably drop them, they'll go all over the place. That's fine though, because remember, as long as you don't give up, you're going to learn how to juggle. I promise you, you really will. Yep, got that step. So again, 10 minutes today, 10 minutes tomorrow until you can do that. Then you're going to graduate to 3 balls, but you're not actually going to graduate yet to 3-ball juggling. You're going to do exactly what you did just then, but you're going to have 2 balls in one hand. So I'm going to start with my right hand again. I've got 2 in that hand. I'm going to throw the first one, then I'm going to throw the other one just like I did, catch it, and I'm going to stop again. So I'm not continuously, I'm just throw, throw, stop. That's it, throw, throw, stop. So it's not really a step up from what I was doing earlier, other than I have this one buried in my hand. And again, it's just about being consistent. Throw them to the same height, throw them so you don't have to reach all over the place to actually catch them. Again, 10 minutes, a couple of times a day, and then practice doing it from the other hand as well. Oops, I shouldn't have done a full rotation there. So I'm just going to throw from my left hand to my right, just like that, just one little rotation, and keep practicing trying to be as consistent as you possibly can. And again, I find it much harder to do it with my left hand than my right, so I can always spend time practicing to make my left hand more consistent. And now you can see I'm super close. All I have to do is one more rotation. So instead of, when I go to catch the red one, I'm going to throw the green one just before the red one arrives, and I'll get one full rotation. So I go like that. And now I'm juggling, and all it comes down to is more practice to be more consistent. And I can throw them higher, gives me more time to think, or I can try and throw them as low as I can and make it really fast. But really, this just again is practice. And the biggest piece of advice that I can give you when you start graduating at this level is not to throw the ball out of the front of your hand and then catch the incoming ball at the back of your hand. And I'll show you what I mean by doing it with one hand. It's sort of tempting to do this, and I find it hard to do. The problem with doing that is that the balls are continuously getting further away from me, and I'm tempted to walk and start following them, and you end up chasing the balls all over the place. Try really hard to throw them out of the side of your hand. So I'm throwing, when the red one comes in, I'm going to throw the yellow one inwards. I'm not going to throw it forwards like that. So I throw the yellow one inside. So you can see they're always, I'm exaggerating a bit right now, but I'm trying hard to throw them inside. This way, I'm not throwing them towards you guys, I guess, or away from myself. And that's another thing too, with the consistency of throwing, you won't be tempted to walk to chase the balls everywhere. As you do wild throws, you might be tempted to catch it and keep going. Try really hard to keep your feet planted. And if you find yourself always chasing them, go back a step, go back to just 2 balls and just do the single rotation again, and make sure you're throwing them consistently. You're not throwing them away from yourself. You're not throwing them towards yourself. They're always just where your hands are. And it's okay to go back a step. 10 more minutes practice today, 10 more minutes practice the next day, and then you'll graduate up to 3 again. And I promise you, if you do this for a week, you'll be juggling more or less like I am right now. It's genuinely just about time practicing, and you'll get to this step. So I obviously bought juggling balls, and I can obviously juggle 3 balls right now. But what I did is I bought 4 juggling balls. So I've never learned how to juggle 4, and I've always wanted to. Again, I'm stuck in a hotel. Why wouldn't I learn how to juggle 4 balls? There's a couple of different ways this can be done, and you're going to see here, I can't do it yet, but I'll show you what I'm working on. The first one is you can just juggle 2 balls in one hand, and I'm just throwing them beside themselves. And then in theory, I can do 2 in the other hand, that's harder, at the same time. And if I do that while I'm doing the other hand, I would be juggling 4 balls, in theory. And at the moment, I do it like this. And you can see I can keep it going for a little bit, and then it all goes pear-shaped. And talking to my brother about it, he was saying, I shouldn't be throwing them at the same time. I should throw one from this hand, and then throw one from this hand. And they call this egg beatering when you talk about juggling. And that's where you see people who get this motion going with their hands. You're throwing one, catching one, throwing, and so it's this big like continuous rotation motion. And this is where I'm at right now. This is what I'm trying to learn. And this is where I find it really difficult. So I'll see, sometimes I try to do this and I try to think about moving now, and I try to move my right hand, and I'll see if I can, and so there's something there. I find it really difficult to get that egg beater motion going and not just throw them at the same time. So right now I'm really stuck on, I just want to do this again and throw them together. That's not how you're supposed to do it. And then the final thing that I kind of want to try and do, and I need to YouTube this, is why can't I alternate them between hands? So I kind of am tempted to throw 2 out of one hand and then start throwing the other ones and try to actually keep, I don't even know if that would mean keeping 3 in the air at the same time, but I think then it looks more like if you were juggling 5. I don't actually really know how to do this or if it's possible, but I sort of want to do this. See, and then I straight away lose one because I don't know where it's supposed to be. And I seem to always throw them into each other, which is obviously a problem. But anyway, that's where I'm at with juggling 4 balls. But of course, while I'm here too, I want to learn how to do some other fun things with 3 balls, and I'll show you that now. When I first got these ones, I was a bit disappointed about how bouncy they are, because when I drop them, they go all over the place. Although when you spend 20 minutes looking for a juggling ball and you're locked in a hotel room anyway, what difference does it make? But then it occurred to me, maybe I can have some fun with how bouncy they are. Maybe I can learn new ways to juggle. So I'd never tried this before until this morning, actually trying to juggle off the wall. And I have to be careful here because what I could do is just this. I'm throwing them quite high and it's really not much different than regular juggling. So I'm trying to actually throw them really like horizontally at the wall. But it is hard because they come back at me much faster than I'm expecting. And so I struggle with that one. I also play around a lot with different techniques, so I can throw them around the outside like that. I can juggle 2 and then make it look like I'm juggling 3 by moving, not very good at that yet, by moving the outside 1. Yeah, I really enjoy the over the top. I think I used to be able to do under the leg. I just got it that time. Try again. That's better. And then the final one that I've always wanted to learn, and because these are bouncy, it's going to work, I want to learn to juggle off the floor. And I think this is going to be really hard because my natural inclination is to throw it. I'll just do it with 1 to demonstrate. Throw it and then kind of wait and catch it like under the ball. But I think what I have to do is catch it like that. Catch it on top of the ball, if you know what I mean. Catch it with my hand facing down so that I could be catching and throwing continuously. And I think this is where I need to take my own advice. So I can do it reasonably well with 1. I think now this is where I should just concentrate hard on doing it just like that. Just do the single rotation. And obviously I lose it. I'm not very good at this yet. But I feel like when I'm ready, I'll be able to step up and I should be able to get the rotation going and be able to do 3 like that off the floor. And again, I hope my neighbors don't mind too much. Maybe the people downstairs can hear this. They're not too loud. Off the window is pretty loud, so I won't do that too much, but I find it really difficult to throw the one out of my hand when I know there's one coming. It's not something I've ever done before. And then I wonder too, will it be easier or harder if I have like a shorter distance? Now I can kind of just drop them without throwing them. So I think if I practice, and luckily I have some time on my hands, I'm really just dropping them right now. I'm not throwing them at all, which isn't helping me, I think, with the downward hand motion. And there you could see the ball started like getting away from me. I was tempted to chase after them and keep going. So I should go back to slowing down and being consistent and not chasing after them. But there you go. These are the things I'm doing in quarantine to keep myself entertained. Let me know down in the comments if my juggling tips and tricks are helpful and if it helps teach you to be able to juggle like this. And I really do think a little bit of practice, a little bit of determination, and you totally can do it. Let me know if you've got any questions. Let me know other suggestions you've got to keep me entertained while I am locked in here. There are some other packages coming. There are some more distractions on the way, which I'm a bit excited about. But I think I need to move on. As you can see, juggling 3, I learned this when I was a kid, so I'm not really testing myself right now. I need to just concentrate on trying to get 4. So I'll give you guys an update for sure as time goes on, along with playing the didgeridoo. Now I've also added juggle 4 balls to my list of quarantine goals. So have fun out there, get some sunshine for me. Please go and like roll around in the green grass or something like that, because that's what I would be doing if I could. Have fun.